I think between Ibiza and Dubai, they are the two most regular places that I've visited in my life.
Yeah.
And they've all got their attributes, and they've all got the phenomenal elements. Both got the sun. They're both incredible, in my opinion. And when I've spoken to certain people for the first time about Dubai or the UAE as a whole, I do agree with the 50-50 split. Right. You get someone goes, what annoys me is when I hear, nah, not for me, not good. And I'll say, oh, have you been? No. So why is it not for you? Because I don't like their rules and stuff. And it's that perception. It's different if you're going on holiday, right?
Yeah.
Like you heard about the person that might have smoked a joint 10 years ago, and he's gone through customs. They're taking his blood test there and then. They found a little segment and he's gone to jail for 25 years. I mean, it's a complete blown up exaggeration of the truth.
Yeah.
But people ride on these kind of fairy tale stories, and it kind of puts people off. But as a business person, right, knowing you're going to go there as a business, some of the rules, some of the laws, some of the perception, well, did that ever play in the back of your mind and thought, I need to, because like, for example, bouncing a check.
Yeah.
In the UK, if someone, I mean, we don't really have checks anymore, but if someone bounces a check, you're just going to be a bit pissed off for someone. And you're going to be like, can you send me another one, mate? Because that one's gone.
Yeah. But to be fair, that has changed a lot in Dubai. So you're completely right. When I first went there, the idea of someone bouncing a check, you know, they'd all sign it really carefully, and it was very well that you could have been, you know,
and they're sweating as they're doing it.
But then obviously it's in the real world, the banking system is obviously, is a bit behind in Dubai. It's a little bit archaic, and it's slowly getting there. People don't really use checks anymore, or certainly that, you know, if they bounce, it's not really a criminal offence. So it's changed a lot. I mean, it's not that idea is not completely gone, but it's certainly not quite the same as it used to be.
It's a life lesson, isn't it? Right? I give you a check, I shouldn't bounce it. I owe you the money, otherwise I wouldn't give you the check. So is the UK system right for me to give you something that I know intentionally is not going to clear, but there's goods or services traded or whatever it is. So a lot of the things they do, you actually look at this, you think, it's the right reason.
And you touched on the laws and stuff. I mean, let's be honest, is that, you know, the reason, actually, ironically enough, I thought, everyone wants to go there, a bit like my dad working in Saudi in the 60s or whatever, because it was, I'm going to work there and don't pay any tax and get paid a lot of money. So I would have thought that's a big reason. But actually, in recent years, you know, since, especially post-COVID, most people have been coming. The two main things they tell you is safety and security, mainly for their as Luke mentioned, for their families. So they know that they good schooling, good healthcare, safety. Now those rules are what creates that safety. And yet in the UK or a lot of major cities around the world where you're having all kinds of problems with knife crime and gun crime and these different things. But then those are the same people complaining that there aren't the rules in place. A bit ironic, really, isn't it?
Yeah. Going back to the check thing. So my dad is really old school. Yeah. He's got part of a security company, and he took a chance with a Bulgarian guy many years ago who came over with hardly anything. Massive guy, like you wouldn't want, like a real life Hulk. He's huge, and you wouldn't want to get on the wrong side of him. Perfect person to have in your security company. And anyway, when they set up this business together, the Bulgarian called George ended up giving my dad a contract, and my dad went, "Don't work like that. My handshake is my word," and that's it. They shook their hands, and it's been flourishing ever since. And George was like, I really admire that about your dad, because there's many people that will fuck you over if you don't have contracts and stuff in place. Now, I don't recommend that for most people to do that, because I think the culture now is completely different. But what I liked about Dubai with the whole bounce and the check, if you really think about it, a check is kind of your handshake say-so, to say that I haven't got the money here, as in physically in my hand, but I've got something that represents the money. Here's a handshake, and bank that, because it's good as my word. And when people bounce a check, it's basically saying that your word means fuck all, and I'm basically, I've got no integrity. And what I like about Dubai, it holds people accountable to their integrity.
100%. And you look at the things you talked about, the weed on the guy's foot, and it got blown up and it got exaggerated. But if you want to smoke weed, stop off in Amsterdam on the way to Dubai, do what you want to do, and then when you come to Dubai, don't do it. They say don't do drugs, so don't come here if you're going to do drugs. If you want to come here and eat in a nice restaurant and have a bottle of wine, fine, do it. If you want to finish another bottle of wine or another bottle of wine, and maybe you want to kind of be a bit loose-footed when you come out of the restaurant, you're probably not going to have someone that's going to jump you because you're wearing a $100,000 watch. This means a lot to people these days. In Dubai, it doesn't matter where you are, you will not feel unsafe, regardless of if you're wearing a watch for $100,000, whether your wife's got a Birkin handbag. You can't. Where in the world can you actually? You can't get it in Ibiza. Where actually can you go? I don't know. Where can I feel today? I can go on the map, say I'm going to go on holiday, and I can wear that nice watch that I've worked really hard for, from the checks that have been paid for. Where can you do it? You can't.
True.
So a lot of these things like, the 50-50 or Dubai, sometimes you used to get into these, not arguments, but you get into a debate to be like, okay, so what is it you don't like? Well, I just don't like this. And then you're like, but you haven't really thought about it, mate. You've just got a story maybe your dad or your granddad has told you, because that's probably what I heard. It was those stories from years and years ago. You've got Bush has gone into Afghanistan, and you've got the Taliban, and you've got 9/11, and now basically everyone from the UAE is going to blow you up at some stage. It's bollocks, isn't it?
Totally.
It's complete bollocks. But we don't have the media out there. We don't have any media. But Steve, I can go on holiday. I can forget to lock my house. I can leave my cars unlocked. I have no problem when I return. Like you can't. That's more than what you can buy in life, isn't it? Your children's safety, your safety. It's just. Would I want to leave? No. I love coming back here. I love seeing the architecture. I love seeing the busy streets. I've got that kind of childhood memories. God, look how busy. People stopping off, getting a coffee before they're going on the tube. I miss that. I love that. And I love the UK. I love walking past Buckingham Palace a minute ago, see the change of guards. But get to Dubai.